So today in this video we are going to learn human eye and its different functions. Okay, so different parts of the human eye and its functions. So here I have drawn a very rough diagram of human eye, which you can see again on your textbook, NCERT textbook. Now let's see different parts of human eye. Okay, first of all, if you touch your eyes straight, okay, with the help of a finger, you will find a very transparent slide kind of thing, okay, that is known as cornea. And please note, you should never do that. You should never touch your eyes like that, because it can damage your eye. Okay, now see, the first front place that you will find is cornea. Okay, the thing which is bulging outwards is known as your cornea. We will look at its functions separately. First, let's just understand what is present in that. Now, this spot which you can see here, okay, that is known as pupil. So, this particular place, this particular spot is known as pupil. And near pupil, both the sides, what is present is known as iris. Okay. So this particular thing is known as iris towards both the sides. Okay. Behind, now one more thing, behind cornea, this particular surface which is present here. Okay. This entire thing which is present, it is known as aqueous humor. Okay. So I will write it here. This part which is behind cornea but before pupil, it is known as aqueous humor. Okay, so now something which you can see here, this entire thing, it is known as crystalline lens. Now our eye, human eye, it's just like a camera. So it's natural that it needs to have lens also. Okay, so this particular thing is known as okay. So this is our lens. Now next, you will see that this lens is holded properly at that place by a muscle which is known as ciliary muscle towards both the sides. Okay. Now next, there's one more thing. Now when we see an object, there needs to be a screen present on which the image will be formed, isn't it? So here inside our eye, this particular surface which you can see here, this entire surface acts as our screen, and it is known as retina, on which all the images are formed. Okay. Next, before retina, this particular part is known as vitreous humor. And here, these two spots, they are known as blind spot. Again, this part is known as optical nerves, through which all the connections meet brain. Okay, so this is the entire diagram of human eye which is given to you on the textbook. Okay, so learn all the parts and we will learn its functions in detail. Okay, so we know that human eye is the most valuable and most sensitive sense organ, because of which we can see the colorful world around us. Okay, now let's understand different functions of different parts that we study. Okay, so starting with cornea. Cornea is the front part that bulges out and is covered with transparent membrane through which light enters the eye. So cornea is that front surface through which light enters our eyes. Okay. Now, after cornea, there is some space which is present. It contains liquid which is known as aqueous humor. Okay, which you had seen in that diagram. Now next, after that we have pupil. That central hole which you had seen, which is present in iris, it is known as pupil, and pupil regulates and controls the amount of light entering the eye. Okay? So pupil regulates the amount of light that will enter our eye. Iris is a dark muscular diaphragm that controls the size of pupil. Pupil regulates the amount of light entering our eye, and the size of pupil is regulated by iris. Next, after iris and pupil, behind that crystalline lens is present. Okay? So, crystalline lens, it provides finer adjustments of focal length required to focus object on retina. Now, what do you mean by focal length? What is this finer adjustments? That you can understand by just referring to light reflection and refraction loss. Okay? Now, crystalline lens. This is our lens which is present in human eye. Okay? For every camera there needs to be lens present. So, our human eye contains this crystalline lens, and ciliary muscle is the muscle which it is responsible for holding crystalline lens at its place. So crystalline lens is held in its place by ciliary muscle. Okay. Now after crystalline lens and just before retina, there is a space present. It also contains liquid which is known as vitreous humor. Okay. So just like aqueous humor, here it is vitreous humor which is present. Okay. After that, now there needs to be a screen present for the image to be formed. Okay, and for human eye, retina acts as that screen. Okay, the lens system forms an image on a light sensitive screen called retina. So retina is light sensitive screen. Okay. One more thing, you will get a question: how iris and pupil function? Okay, so when we are present in a bright light, what will iris do? Iris will contract the pupil so that less light enters our eye. Okay, and when we are present in the dim light, iris expands the pupil. Okay, iris expands the size of the pupil so that the amount of light that enters is more. Okay, so this is the function of iris as well as pupil. Now next, after retina. Now what is the function of retina? It is a light sensitive screen, okay, on which the image is formed. Now the image that is formed on retina is real and inverted. Okay. Next, this retina which we have seen, what it does is the light energy, okay, it converts it into electrical energy. And this electrical energy which is produced by this retina, it will be transferred to brain through optical nerves which we saw in that diagram. Okay, so that optical nerves it connects to brain so that the signals are sent to brain. So in this way, human eye is the sense organ which functions very effectively, okay, in giving the signals to brain to take action accordingly. Okay. One other thing that we had marked in the diagram is blind spot. Blind spot, it is just opposite to retina. It is totally insensitive to light, whereas retina is light sensitive. Okay, whereas blind spot is totally insensitive to light, and that's why there is no image which is formed on blind spot. That's why its name is blind spot. So from the name itself you can understand there is no image formed on blind spot. Okay, this human eye, it is approximately spherical in shape and its diameter is about 2.3 centimeter. Okay, so this is how a human eye functions. Okay, and each and every part of human eye has different functions. So how complex is this small tiny structure which is present in us? So I hope you will understand and learn this particular aspect. Okay. Okay, so now that we have seen structure of human eye, different parts and its different functions, we know that the eye lens in case of human eye is held in its place by a muscle named ciliary muscle. Okay, so the focal length of this eye lens can be adjusted by the action of ciliary muscle. From here we come to our next point, power of accommodation. Now power of accommodation is the ability of the eye lens to change its focal length. Okay, so this is done with the help of ciliary muscle. Understood? So now next, for any person, okay, our human eye is designed naturally to see any object which is kept at about 25 centimeter without any strain, and this is known as least distance of distinct vision. Least distance of distinct vision. Okay, and it is also known as near point of the eye. Also, there is one point which is known as furthest point of the eye up to which a normal human eye can see, and it is infinity for a normal eye. So, for a young adult with normal vision, the near point is 25 centimeter and furthest point is infinity. Now, sometimes the eye lens at old age becomes milky and cloudy in case of some people, and this condition is known as cataract. Okay, and when the eye lens becomes milky and cloudy, it either causes partial or complete loss of vision, but this can be corrected with the help of cataract surgery. Okay, okay, so now let us understand defects of vision and their correction. Different defects, that is refractive defects, we are going to learn here, and there are mainly three types of defects we are going to learn. First is myopia, second is hypermetropia, and third is presbyopia. Okay, so let us understand first one, which is myopia, which is also known as nearsightedness. Now, a person who is suffering from myopia, a person with myopia can see nearby objects clearly but cannot see distant object distinctly. Okay, so a normal human eye can see the far point for the normal human eye is infinity, but for myopic eye it is nearer than infinity. Okay, the person has far point nearer than infinity. Image which is located, now the object if it is located far beyond, okay, then the image of that object is formed in front of retina and not at retina. Okay, so the image has to be formed at retina, but here the image will be formed in front of the retina, which you can see in the photo here. So you can even see how the infinity point has come nearer for this person, and also the image is formed in front of the retina. Now, this defect may arise due to two things. One is excessive curvature of eye lens, and second, elongation of eyeball. Now, this can happen if a person is reading books with dim light, or watching TV, or using phone by keeping the screen too close to the eyes. Okay. So, now this defect can be corrected by using a concave lens of suitable power. Okay, so these are the diagrams you need to learn here, and this is the first defect we have studied. Okay, now let's understand the second type of defect, which is known as hypermetropia, which is also known as far-sightedness. Now, a person with hypermetropia can see distant objects clearly, but they cannot see nearby objects distinctly. Now, person has near point further away than normal near point. So, for a normal human being, human eye can see the objects near point is about 25 centimeter. But for persons suffering from hypermetropia, the further point, the near point is further away from normal near point. Okay. Now, if the object is kept at about 25 centimeter distance, then the image will be formed beyond retina, and it won't be formed at retina. Now, this defect may arise due to focal length of the eye lens has become too long, eyeball has become too small. Now, correction for this can be using a convex lens of suitable power. Okay, so you can also see how this defect arises and how it can be corrected. Okay, how the normal near point has become further away, and if the object is at the near point, how the image is formed beyond the retina. Okay. Now you have also seen power, how to calculate power in light reflection and refraction. Okay, whereby you know power is given by diopter. Diopter is the SI unit of power. And for convex lens, power will be positive. And for concave lens, power is negative. Okay, so this you need to know. Okay, so here is the third type of defect, and which is known as presbyopia. Now, the power of accommodation of the eye decreases. It usually decreases with aging, and this defect is known as presbyopia. Okay, it arises due to weakening of ciliary muscle and diminishing flexibility of eye lens. Okay, so with age there is weakening of ciliary muscle as well as diminishing flexibility of eyelids. A person may suffer from both myopia and hypermetropia. Now, for presbyopia correction is using a bifocal lens. So bifocal lens will have both the portions for concave lens as well as convex lens, and in bifocal lens upper portion has concave lens which facilitates distant vision, and this is suitable for myopia. If a person is suffering from myopia, then bifocal lens has upper portion which is concave lens, and the lower portion of bifocal lens will be convex lens which facilitates near vision, and this is suitable for hypermetropia. Okay, so in this way we have studied different types of defects as well as what is the method to correct them. Now I will ask you one question. Suppose there is one student named X in your class, and the student is complaining that it is very difficult to read what is written on the blackboard by sitting on the last bench. Can you guess what type of defect the person is suffering from and how it can be corrected? Yes. So firstly, let us understand what type of defect the person is suffering from. This person is not able to see the distant objects clearly. So the person is suffering from myopia, and this can be corrected by using concave lens. Okay. So I hope you have understood this particular topic and learn it well. Okay. Have you ever tried reading a printed page by holding it very close to your eyes? Do you feel a strain in your eyes while doing so? So let us understand why this happens. To see the object which is very near, the ciliary muscle adjusts the focal length of the eye accordingly. But the focal length cannot be decreased below a certain level, and that's why we feel strain in our eyes. Okay?